Hello, dear viewers. I'm Akif Mateen. I'm welcoming you all to watch our weekly, live session. Now, here in every week, we used to provide you some of our, insights from the charts, and also we do talk about, different fundamental indicators or news-related data and events. So, I hope that this week's discussion will help you to relate your own technical analysis and strategy that you would make to make a good amount of profit on your entry. So let's just hit directly to the chart. But like we always do, we actually share our point of view, how the market could react in between all the newses and all events, and discuss different factors. And in the end, we also discuss how are the outcomes of the past week had been. So let's just say for previous week, according to our analysis on US 30 doll 30 indices, we informed that it needs to break these zones and actually have a H1 and H4 closing above this zone to have a target at least from this and then this. Now the analysis stays the same as the price was actually in between the zones, so no side, buying side or selling side, any kind of entry has been triggered for this week on doll 30. Now as we see that the market moved just in this zone, so this zone is a very important zones. Now we would like to see different scenarios for the upcoming week, but for the last week scenario, as we can see that it was in between the indecision zone and didn't perform any decisive move on a good run of liquidity on either side of bullish or bearish for doll 30. Now let's get back to gold. Now for the gold, it was still the same. We drew two zones, which we could have a confirmation that yes, from here this bullish side will be strong, and from under these levels the bearish side will be strong. But neither happened. The market moved according to the zones, and it has been moving in these zones for kind of like last 4 weeks, or let's just say 1 month. So market is in range for the gold so far, but last week we had no the market was in in between the indecision zone, so it was hard to predict any kind of move. So it was better kind of like stay out of the market. Those who did, I hope they actually been saved from many rush moves on of the market last week. Now for USDJPY, we had a point of view that yes, if the market on any H1 or H4 candle closes above this level, then yes, it's gonna hit this level as target 1, and then this as target 2. Now these entry activated, but later on it actually moved into the opposite direction. So right now it's still on the indecision zone, so I think for the validation of the entry and for the safe side, 140.2 could be the safe stop loss side, at least from the like 200 pips from our entry price. So like 1:1 risk reward ratio according to the TP1 level, as we can see over here in the chart. So that's what we can say for the upcoming week. But last week the entry didn't trigger much. It actually been on the profit. Like the entry zone actually been acted like a moving average. Like it had a bullish momentum up to 125 points above, and nearly 120 pips move below on the bearish side. So on the both side, it had a kind of similar like movement, and there is a good order block, which actually it did broke at this level, at this part of the candle. Let's zoom a little bit. Yes, I'm talking about this level. So this order block has been breached and broke, and so there is a high chance that it can touch this level. Now it will confirm to many factors. We'll come to the next phase of it to discuss. On GBP USD, our price was still on the zone, so no decision been made. Same for GBP JPY, and strangely, it actually didn't. It was just so much choppy, but overall the week it was actually on a low volatile bearish momentum. It was actually maintained for GBP JPY. Now, we also discussed on USD CAD, which eventually we informed that there is a possibility to attain a good bullish momentum. Now it did. And let's say for the oil, and it's still maintaining the bull run, I guess. And I guess it will still do a couple of bull run in the near future. At least there is a potentiality to touch these levels. And the next is this zone. And if I can say what's next, then it will be this. So this is the three bullish level targets for US oil, as you can see. For sell side, this is a very important level. Now for the higher time frame, yeah, this level. And for just for precautions and all, for to the start of a good, you know yeah. So this could be the zone for US oil on the upcoming days. It's a very big zone. I mean, I'm talking about 82 to 94. So I'm talking about on the daily chart. So yeah, probably I'm talking about a very long term move, like in a month or in a quarter. So we have to observe the higher time frame for the commodities, and we have to see how it been respected the levels, the lower time frames, and then accumulating all those information and the fundamental news data, we are gonna share some of our I would like to say ideas into a live discussion. So let's get back to the calendar side. So in the calendar, what actually happened last week, we had seen that on China, the manufacturing PMI news report has been on a positive. So on the very first day of the week, the US dollar was a little bit stronger, but later it was it was weaker. US dollar was weaker, but later on from the Tuesday it was stronger. We will see that in the chart on gold. Let's just say this was the day on Monday. Now after that, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the 4 day it was like a kind of like bearish for gold. So US was stronger like in the 4 days, but in the very beginning of the week on Monday, US dollar was a kind of like weaker. Now if we can focus about the Australian dollar, actually re didn't change the rates, and also on US dollar ISM manufacturing PMI news, we are seeing that there had been some positive number, but it was marked red as it was negative than the forecast. But as it is positive than the forecast, then we can say that yes, for manufacturing PMI ISM for US dollar, the news report says it's on a positive side. Now we can see on this news on Wednesday, ADP non-farm employment change. The previous value was 455K. Present value had been published at 324K, but it only was shown like a green positive sign just because it was greater than the forecasted value. But as it's actually less than the previous value for 455K, so we are thinking that for this news effect, US dollar was stronger only sentimentally for a very short time, but for the long term, US dollar is weak for this data. Now CHF CPI, it went negative as expected, so it's still on the weaker side. For pound, it raised 0.25 basis uh, you know rates in the last week, still struggling to have some bullish move. So we can say that yes, I mean the situation maybe for pound is very much bad right now. And for unemployment claims report that releases every week on Thursday, and we had ISM services PMI, on which we had a negative value for US dollar, but despite that, market we saw US dollar was stronger. On the last day, NFP released. It was kind of like near close value to the previous value. Now we can say that in general it was revised from 209. Now it's 187. It's even less than the forecasted value. So sentimentally, US dollar acted weak, and it respected that too, as we can see on GBP USD. When the news released, it shooted up for gold. On the lower time frame, we can see that yes, on the Friday, when after the news, US dollar acted weak, and gold GBP USD actually had some bullish movement. Now we can have a look to the what news that's gonna coming next week. So in the meantime, I would like to express my concerns to every one of your viewers to like and subscribe our YouTube channel, and also join our Telegram group t.me/TripplePips, just to support our work. And obviously, if you have any good insight on the market, you can also share with us, because if any one of us is gonna be benefited with it, I guess it's beneficial for everyone. Now, also, I would like to inform you that on Discord we have our library, in which the link is in the description below. So any kind of book you have, you want to contribute, you can also submit there. Also, if you want any book, I hope you will find over there. So we can discuss about books if you'd like to, if there is any recommendation on the Discord channel. So just do interaction with us and our team through the Discord, so that we can actually build a good and strong community to know, learn, and share all about the markets and trading charts, and enhance our passive earning, by the way. So let's get back to the thing we were discussing about the next week news that those are going to release. Now on Monday, Australian dollar and Canadian dollar has bank holidays, so there's less impact expecting from those two countries side, two major currency sides. So we can say that when US dollar usually there is a bank holiday on USA, and US dollar become on pause. So at that time, the demand on the US side actually increases, because it's a reserve currency. But for the other currencies and other countries, the effect actually acts like a kind of like a reversal. So we are thinking that Australian dollar and Canadian dollar supply will increase on Monday. That means, let's just say on USD CAD, we are expecting USD CAD supply increase, so US dollar demand increase. So we are expecting some bullish movement on Monday. If that happens, that actually will tell us many things for the upcoming week. Now, that's why I always recommend that anyone who do provide signals or analysis on internet, or to video, or to any content, I would like to say that no, no one is could be 100% perfect. We all can share our point of views, our thinking, thoughts, and decisions or decisive factors to others, just to check on how market is reacting, so that we also can enhance our knowledge and also build a strong community for the betterment of the market. So to reach to the goal, I believe that we all play the same part. So we all would like to. I would like to request you all to like our, Facebook pages, Telegram channels, Twitter, you know, channels too. The link is all available, so that we can know that how our discussions are actually improving your trading conditions. And if uh, it works a little bit, that will be very much beneficial for us to know. So just let us know your point of view, and also share, do the socialized work, share our videos if you like it, because ultimately we are not telling that trade like this, trade like that, but before starting the week, as a trader, we feel that we need to share our point of view to know how market may gonna react, and how we can have some contingency plans if that doesn't work out that way. So, moving on, we also have some news on US dollar FMC Harker speaks. So, on such speech, in some cases, it's been labeled as medium impact or low impact news. But I'd like to say that if that news relates to kind of like Senate related issues, like just USA Senate is having right now, so I guess at that point US dollar may experience some a little bit volatility. Now for on Tuesday we have NAB business confidence on AUD, but we have US dollar trade balance news on Tuesday. That's important thing because we all know that US dollar has been printing money to support its ideology and also support and aid Ukraine on the front. So this has to have some of the effect on their own economy too. Now, at this condition, if the trade balance report is gonna go positive, so there is a side who wants rates to hike more just to adjust according to the inflationary phases. Now, point comes, thing that actually we have to think that if US dollar intends to increase its rates more, then how the retail sector and also the consumer gonna react to those? Because it's not just increasing. The rate increased like arithmetically, but it affects increases. I would like to say geometrically. 0.25% a year increase in interest rates. So this 0.25 varies a good amount of money for the pensioners, for the insurance sector workers, and also investors, and many sectors, and mostly on the service-based sectors. So how they're going to react, that's also we need to focus. And obviously it's a very tense situation on fundamental factors if we consider for US dollar. So any news that's not gonna fully support the real scenario, as we spoke like last week on ADP and on from news time, we have seen that yes, the news reacted the value was previous than the value was actually less than the previous month, but in the market, US dollar acted stronger. So that's a reverse kind of scenario. So we have to think that we actually came to at a conclusion after that event that yes, the price may have been a kind of like priced in condition been going through a little bit while ago, and it was actually the after effect. So such conditions, such scenarios happens frequently, and when we can track what's happening, then we can enter according to our own technical strategies on the lower time frame to grab those moves as much as we can. That's what actually we can do. Now on the Wednesday we have China CPI news gonna release, and we have inflation expectation on quarter to quarter basis report. So these two news are also important, including this news on 10-year bond auction on US dollar. Now on Thursday on August 10, we have unemployment claims news and CPI news on US dollar. On this day is very important for US dollar news because these newses are going to directly have impacts on interest rates. So recently US dollar raised its rates. Now how the reports are going to reacting according to that, or is it wanting more hikes? So this is a thing to be discussed after the report's going to release. But before that, we can wait and see the moves how it is reacting. Now on Friday we have Japanese yen bank holiday. So for obvious reasons, the shorting yen will be a good option if we can see a good situation. And we will have a PPI news report on Friday for US dollar. So these are the major newses that we are gonna actually pay on focus. And I hope on these news events you will, stay as much as you can away, because if you're a scalper, then it will be very much easy for you to adjust and stay out of the market at the news time, at least 45 minutes before and after the news release time. And if you are not a scalper, then I guess this kind of news movement is the only way to make a good amount of profit. So just exit in a good way, that's all we can say. Now, we have a news on Fed's Bowman signals more hikes may be needed to cool inflation. So, Federal Reserve Governor Michelle Bowman said the U.S. central bank may need to raise rates further in order to fully restore price stability. Now, they have been informed about the price instability through this same statement, and also provided kind of like solution based to raise rates further to ensure the stability of the market. Now, this is a very complicated issue. How it is going to react now? Is it kind of like hawkish, kind of like statement, or dovish kind of like statement? Well, technically on numbers, it is a dovish kind of statement. But as the solution has been provided over here, so this may boost a little bit hawkish momentum on the US dollar. Uh, so when on the Monday, when the market opens, we are expecting a little bit strength on US dollar. Um, and also the recent lower inflation reading was positive, but I'll be looking for consistent evidence that inflation is on a meaningful path down toward our 2% goal as I consider further rate increases and how long the federal funds rate will need to remain at a restricted level. So she also has been informed that yes, the rates right now, what it is right now, is actually been on a restrictive level. So you know, she's been the one, I guess, admitting fully that things are not going quite good. Now, uh, this is the thing. Also, we have to think that it's in the highest level in the last 22 years. On the 2009 crash, that also didn't affected or tend US dollar interest rates to rise at this level. But right now, after the COVID and the current ongoing Ukraine situation, the US federal funds had to increase its rates at the highest in the last 22 years. So this is also kind of like another usual scenario. It's kind of like different scenario. So that's, I guess, uh, Feds Bowman actually been informed about that. Now let's hump into another news, and it's written by Felix Salmon, author of Axios Markets. Now he's been informed that what markets reporters usually miss. Now we have 10-year bond and 30-year bond news releases in the upcoming week. So yes, this is kind of like a good news. So this is the link, I guess. I will provide the link in the comment section later on. Just before that, make sure what we follow over here. Now, in terms of market moves, however, the effect of the report was tiny. If you squint, you can just about make out a move from a yield of 4.03% before the report came out to a yield of 4.01% afterward. So bottom line is sensible investing is a long-term endeavor. Okay, so nothing much good thing about here. It's been it's been telling about a report. Now in this yield chart, we are seeing that it's maintaining a good trend line over here. So I guess on the technical side, we can say that yes, a good hike on the bond is sure to come. So we have China and US CPI going to release next week, so both news are very important. So the US and China report July CPI figures in the coming days, likely moving in opposite direction. So US CPI is likely to rise for the first time since peaking. China CPI has been slowing and is likely to go negative on a year-over-year basis. So that's kind of like expectation. So if that happens on gold, we have a CPI news release on, let's just say China releases on maybe on Wednesday. and on Thursday we have US. So just a day after. So on Wednesday we are expecting that if the Chinese news gonna go in a negative, so US dollar will be stronger. That will be the last kind of strong move, create some divergences over in the lower time frame. And after that, on the Thursday when US news happens, if according to the news reports and discussion, if CPI reports something positive, then I guess it will go a little bit upward movement, like on a lower movement. So that's what we are gonna predict for US. So let's just say on on a gold chart, let's just say on Wednesday, when the Chinese news is gonna be less, then US dollar will be stronger, so gold will go sell, kind of like this level, creating a divergence over here. And then on Thursday, if the CPI reports came like less or kind of like equal than the previous value, then the reaction will be like on the weak side for US dollar. So gold will actually go buy a little bit, break these liquidity levels that actually it's been maintaining for some couple of weeks. So that's actually what we are predicting for gold. Now, that's what actually we do. We talk about news, events, we talk about the probabilities, we talk about the market adjustments, and so that if things goes as we talk, so act accordingly on the lower time frame technical charts. So here, yeah, investors are digesting not only the doubling of cap on Japan's 10-year bond, but also the Bank of Japan purchases at market prices in its first two operations in nearly 6 months. The current account has averaged 1.3 trillion a month this year through May. Last year it averaged 1.36 trillion. So the dollar initially rose 2.75 against the yen and fell by about 1% past three sessions. So I guess there has been, when it comes to bond, then U.S. and Japan has some previous relations with, buying or buybacking bonds on each other countries, just to support the economic activities and economic movements. So now on that stance, also U.S. dollar is in a negative way, and here we are seeing a tweet that we are saying that more rate hikes likely needed to get inflation to 2%. That was the tweet. And core inflation are above 2% target. So the thing is that they are thinking to make it lower down. And six, consistent evidence inflation is on path to 2%. So she needs evidence, which actually has been very strict for this situation to find out. Now, let's focus on a little bit on another news. US inflation data may offer some comfort to the Fed. Now, the labor market is cooling, providing a disinflationary impulse to the stickiest inflation categories that should last the rest of the year. FOMC's July rate hike likely was the final one before the extended pause. So overall, CPI, which includes food and energy, annual CPI will work in the opposite direction. So this here, like if CPI increases according to the even uh, according to the forecast, or what according to the discussion that we have seen in the previous blog, then there is a chance that the market will react kind of like opposite. Instead of getting US dollar stronger, it may react weak. That's why actually been mentioned a while ago about the possible gold movements. Now, in China, Wednesday could show consumer prices dropping for the first time in over 2 years. So CPI may gonna drop, and China's CPI may gonna drop. US CPI gonna go up, but reacts revertly. So this is the thing we are seeing for the upcoming week. Now for the gold, we are seeing that for the short term, the bias is still bullish. For the 1 month, it's still bullish. For 1 quarter, it's still bullish because of this situation. It's been bullish since this, from 2018. Now in the meantime, it's been go had some bearish run, but eventually it actually recovered those, and in the higher time frame, it's still bullish. So moving on. So this was the news and the facts of events that we are going to focusing for the next week. And let's get back to the chart. So on US 30, we are seeing that it's right on a close level. Now last week when US dollar was weak, um, like here, like in the gold, as we see, US 30 acted inversely, but simultaneously to US dollar movements. On gold, US dollar was weak, and if dollar becomes weak, then the index should have been stronger. But here, as we are seeing that kind of like reverted movements happened over US 30. Last week, it was actually was harshly on a bearish stance overall. So when these price level gonna go broke or H4 closing happens below these levels on 34,980, then we're expecting a TP1 to 34,520 levels and TP2 more bearish side 34060 levels. So this is the movement we are eyeing on for US 30. That's our preferred move before Thursday news on US dollar. Now on the buying side, if on Thursday news there is a harsh movement and there is a H4 closing above this level, then we have to make sure that on the next H1 candle, it also has to be open close above this level of 35709, because if not, then it gonna go create a spike and then again pull back. But if it closes above this level, then we can say that the bullish liquidity will only activated at that cases, and we could have a 670 points movement for TP1, and moreover 1000 on the TP2. So that's we can say for US 30. For gold, we informed a good range, but if we can shorten up, we are seeing that throughout the week it can go like this way, sideways, then go again down, create a temporary divergence over here in the short time frame, and then when Thursday news happens, it go up and touches 2000 level. That's what actually I am saying, but it needs to give clear indication on the news reports that we were discussing about. Now for USDJPY, hello, okay. So for USD, okay, maybe, yeah. So if anyone have any questions, you can ask here on the chat, so that we can have a good interactive session. Okay, thank you. Now on USDJPY, we are expecting um, a bear side up to 140 levels, but after that there is a chance that it can go bullish. If not, we will wait at least closing on H4 and H1 below 137.5 level to confirm a bearish entry for the target of TP1 at 130 level, and my bad, TP1 at 133.8 level, and TP2 at 130.35 levels. So that's what we are seeing for USD JPY. Now moving on for GBP USD. Now this pair, for previous week we have been informed that for the past 5 weeks it's been on the maintaining a zone. Now it hasn't created a good move to support more movements on the upside or even downside. So this could be a very decisive week for GBP USD. So we are expecting that if the market may react a little bit, you know, bearish when the US dollar was strong before and up to Thursday news. So we are expecting that this level could be breached and come may the price come over here. But after that, we are expecting a good kind of like buy side movements, at least up to this level, when the news releases on Thursday. So for GBP JPY, it's also kind of like same. For GBP USD, as we spoke, the price may go bearish a little bit, then bullish. For GBP JPY, it's the same. It may go bearish a little bit, create some high lows and spikes over these weeks level, and then it can go
الله أكبر
bullish up to this level.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
So here for USD CAD, we are seeing, uh, last week it closed with a little bit downturn move, but we're expecting initially a good bearish move over here, kind of like 120 pips downwards, and then move up to kind of like 200 pips upward up to 1.355 levels. That's what we are seeing and expecting for USD CAD before Thursday US CPI news is. On US CPI news is, market may act weaker on the for US dollar, create some spikes or wicks and then revert it back. So that's what we're expecting for Thursday. Now that's all I guess for to discuss about the markets today. Please follow us and subscribe our channels to get the latest updates. We can reach us. The links is all in the description. So have a nice day ahead, and I hope that we all will have a very nice week to put some good profit trades on. So thank you all. Bye bye.